Today we're going to be sewing the Oro Rosa travel bag, which you can probably see in my lap already. It's big. Here it is. It's got a shoe pocket flap on the outside. It's got a slip pocket front, just like your normal Oro Rosa patterns. It's got a slip pocket slash luggage keeper on the back that goes all the way through, plus a phone pocket back here. It's got a turn lock and double pull zipper opening. Inside is lots of stuff. There is big mesh pocket over here, a slip pocket and zipper pocket here. And on this side we have like two slip pockets. And then you can see that shoe pocket, but you can also squish it up and you can zip it shut. So you don't have to have it inside at all. All right. I hope you enjoy this pattern. It's super fun. It's going to be a great travel bag. Can't wait to see yours. Okay, so I've gone ahead and prepped the strap, the handles, and the handle connectors by drawing the lines and putting the double-sided tape. On the strap, I only put one strip of double-sided tape. It's 1/4 inch and it's in the center. I'm just really cheap and didn't want to put 2 pieces of double-sided tape on there, to be completely honest. So after you peel the double-sided tape off, you're just going to fold your raw edges to the center on both sides. And then you'll fold it in half to hide that center, raw edges in the center. Okay, and we're going to do that all the way down. After you have everything clipped to your liking, we can start top stitching. You'll notice I don't have any clips on mine, but you definitely don't have to do that. I'm going to use a 5.5 stitch length and an 1/8 of an inch seam allowance, and I'm going to top stitch all the way down, and I'm going to pivot around my corners, top stitch all the way back up, and then across the end here, and I'll back stitch. Okay, so you'll actually put strap ends on in just a moment here. I don't have any, but it would cover up your back stitching that you did there if you did any. So don't worry about that. Let's finish up this strap here. So grab your swivel clips and slide the raw end of your strap through your swivel clip and fold it over. We're going to fold that over 2 inches. And we'll make our marks for our rivet placement. And then I'll just go ahead and clip that together for right this second. Make sure I'm still on the same side. This is wrong side up. So then I can slide this end through and fold that over the 2 inches. And make our marks as well. I'll go ahead and punch holes. I'm going to use this little handheld puncher here. Go ahead and grab your 4 rivets and go ahead and install them now. I'm going to use this snap rivet setter here. Right, and if you have strap ends, install your strap ends, and your strap is finished. So the handles will be next, and they're going to be done in pretty much the exact same manner as your strap, except you're going to only top stitch these at 3/8. Okay, let's go ahead and top stitch your handles at 3/8 of an inch, and using I'm going to use a 5.5 stitch length. Okay, so then you want to go ahead and start from the end of your handles and make a mark 6.5 and 7.5 inches from the end. We're doing this on both handles, and we're going to do it on both sides. I have my marks made already in some chalk. You don't want to use anything permanent here. The chalk will wipe off. You could also use the silver marking pen from moremeknow.com. I'm using a faux suede, so I don't know that it'll work on there and come off, so I'm not risking it and using the chalk. Okay, so we will be stitching now at 1/8 of an inch from the 7.5 inch mark on one side to the 7.5 inch mark on the other side, across and back up, and then across again. No back stitching this time. We're going to pull our threads to the back, and we're going to do this for both handles. Okay, and I'm going to put my stop my stitching in the hole that I started in, so it looks like a continuous stitch. I'll leave long threads, and I'll tug on those on the back to make a loop and pull that loop up, and then we'll tie those threads in the back here. Flip to the wrong side of your handle and apply a 6-inch piece of double-sided tape in the center of the strap. Well, sorry, in the center of the handle. You'll need 4 pieces altogether. Then we need both main panel pieces and our gridded ruler. I'm going to measure 2 inches up and draw a line. Then measure 9.25 over and make my center mark. Double check that that's actually the center. Okay, so after you've found your center, lay your ruler down or measure and mark the 6 inches. Take the double-sided tape off of your one of your handles and lay it right up next to your ruler. Making sure it's not twisted, take the other double-sided tape off and lay it on the other side. We can go to the sewing machine. Okay, using 1/8 of an inch seam allowance and a 5.5 stitch length, I'm going to stitch up to the mark we drew earlier, the 6.5 inch mark, across and back down on both handles. Here's one of your main panels done. We'll go ahead and rivet right above those stitch lines. There we go. And then we are going to go ahead and do the same thing on this one. The connectors will be done just a little bit differently than the strap or the handle. It's like a combo of both, actually. So we're going to fold these raw edges into the middle, and then we're going to leave it be, but we're going to top stitch them at the 3/8 of an inch again. So let's top stitch. I'm going to use that 3/8 of an inch seam allowance and still a 5.5, and I will back stitch at the beginning and the end. Okay, so these are also done. Let's grab our hardware for them. And I'm using triangle rings, and we're going to need some double-sided tape. I'll go ahead and insert the triangle ring so the top is on the outside. We're going to fold it over 1.5 inches this time. And we'll put some double-sided tape down. You can put a piece of double-sided tape down to begin with if you want. And keep it out away from the end of the connector here. She has you keep it 3/4 of an inch away from the end. I just guessed. All right, let's go ahead and grab our connectors and remove the double-sided tape. One main panel. And on the right-hand side of that handle, place your connector. I want to butt it right up to it, like that. And we'll top stitch that on just like we did with this one. There it is. And we'll go ahead and do it for the other one as well. There we go. On to the next. Go ahead and grab your pocket and your exterior and your pocket lining and put them right sides together. I'm going to just clip them on 2 sides and sew across this curve. I'm going to use a 4 stitch length for this sewing and a 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. You'll see a little bit of a discrepancy with my cutting here. I made an oopsie with my color blocking. Then we'll go ahead and cut snips into our seam, but not through the stitches. And we will open this up and get them around, sorry. Then we'll put them wrong sides together. I like to get those like points out first. And then make sure your lining is rolled to the back. You don't want to have any of your lining peeking out. Then we're going to go to the machine and top stitch. Make sure you're back to your top stitch length and go ahead and stitch. This is what we have now. And I went ahead and put my tag on down here. Ignore my stitch line down there. Again, another whoopsie. All right, make sure you have the correct main panel. You want the one with no cutout. We're gonna take our pocket and lay it on top, right side facing up. And we're gonna match up the bottom and the sides of our pocket to our bag, or sorry, to our main panel. I'm gonna clip this on. Those are matte black clips from Soulful Therapy, and rainbow ones from More Me Know. All right, up here at the top and the corners, we're gonna wanna bring our pocket piece in like 1/8 of an inch. So we start getting a little bit of a pocket gap. This way your pocket doesn't buckle when it's finished. A buckling pocket is a sad pocket. It stinks. I did not know this little pocket trick. I'm excited to use this on other bag patterns too. Okay, can you see my gap now? You want that. All right, so then we're gonna baste this on at the machine. For me, I use a 5.5, the same as my top stitch length for a base stitch, but switch to your base stitch if you need to. We're gonna baste this on at 1/8 of an inch. Up here, since it's pushed in like 1/8 of an inch, I'm just gonna baste it on at 1/4 of an inch. And then really fast come back down to this 1/8 of an inch where it's actually supposed to be. I'm to the 1/8 of an inch seam allowance again. Okay, this is your completed front panel. Double check that you have that gap there. Okay, go ahead and grab your luggage keeper lining and exterior. On the exterior one, measure and mark, as she says, from the stabilizer pieces. So you want to mark on the stabilizer side. On the lining, we're doing it on the wrong side as well. We're going to take our zipper now and tear it in half. On the same side that has your mark on the lining, we're going to flip it over to the right side, have our zipper teeth face up, and match up the raw edges and baste this zipper on. All right, again with the baste, I'm going to do a 5.5. Okay, then we're going to go to the opposite side, no zipper, and get our exterior. This is face up now. We want the wider side, right sides together. And we're gonna match up this long top edge here. Okay, we'll go ahead and sew these right sides together. We're gonna use a 3/8 of an inch seam allowance and a 4 stitch length. Okay, we're gonna trim your seam allowance down to 1/8 of an inch. Okay, now we're gonna grab our double-sided tape and lay down a strip of tape across the top, just above the line here. A double-sided, or a strip of tape down just below the second line. And a strip of double-sided tape below this bottom line. Okay, I'm gonna start on the exterior side at this bottom piece. Well, it's now the bottom. I think it's the bottom. We're gonna fold our piece the raw edges over the stabilizer. I'm going to flip to the lining side and peel that double-sided tape off now and fold that bottom edge up to the line you drew. Then we'll take a piece of double-sided tape and lay it on top of the bottom edge of the zipper. Then we'll take the middle double-sided tape fold this top edge down to that line you drew and wrap it around that interfacing you have on there. We'll remove that double-sided tape and we'll fold this edge down Okay, now that that's all nice and straight, we're going to top stitch that down and we'll top stitch the top. This is what we have right now, and your zipper teeth should be out. And this is what the back looks like. All right, now that you've made your mark on your main panel, take your 1/8 inch double-sided tape and put it right below the line you made. Grab the other side of your zipper. Peel off that double-sided tape. Lay your zipper teeth side down right on the line you drew. Okay, we'll go ahead and sew this on with a 1/4 inch seam allowance. All right, let's go ahead and flip that zipper up towards the top so it's looking at you. And we're gonna stitch that, top stitch that on 1/8 of an inch. Grab that luggage keeper and your 2 zippers. So I'm gonna start on one side. I'm gonna pull that all the way down here. And then get the other one on. Make sure you have no weird bubbles in the center. If you do, just pull them off and redo them. Then we're going to cut off the excess. Okay, so let's base that on like we did the last pocket by pulling this in 1/8 of an inch. So I'm going to do a 1/4 of an inch seam right here at the beginning and get down to 1/8 of an inch. Okay, so you have the pocket gap again. Okay, now you want to measure over from the outermost edge of that handle and make a mark. Do this on the other side as well. We'll make sure the center is pushed flat, and we will make our holes and put our rivets in. Okay, then go ahead and grab your phone pocket and put it right sides together with this opening. And then we're going to sew this together at 3/8 of an inch. Okay, then again you'll snip into, whoop, you can't see me, snip into the curves. And then flip it all to the back. And we'll top stitch. Flip that over. Grab your phone pocket backing and put that right side together with this phone pocket. Lining up the bottom and the sides. Make sure these are flat. And we'll sew the sides and the bottom and the other side. Then I'm going to base these top corners down.